Hi everybody, this is Nick. Welcome to my second part 2 of Where Was I on 9/11. As I told before where I was in high school at the time, I was a freshman. This was probably the one memory of my high school life that I sure as heck won't forget. Probably one thing that I did find out interesting was that there were approximately 20 people who were pulled from the rubble of the World Trade Center. Even though, for a long time, I kept thinking that, no one survived. But as we all know that for everyone who watched Inside 9/11, which was a documentary about the World Trade Center collapse, how they talked about the members of New York City Fire Department, such as Jay Jonas and his company from Ladder 6, which is in Chinatown. They were in the stairwell with, I think her name was Josephine Harris, who's a Port Authority Police Department worker, or a Port Authority worker. I know she worked for the Port Authority, I don't remember which place she worked for. So, and apparently they were only a few floors down from the ground level of the World Trade Center since they were in Tower 1, which, as we all know, collapsed second. That one was, they were immediately basically trapped in there. Captain Jonas was able to radio to the dispatch that, I think he said, Ladder 6. This is Ladder 6. We're trapped in whatever the stairwell they were in. I think they were in stairwell A. I can't remember if it was A, B, or C. So they all survived, along with Josephine Harris, who, like I said, was a Port Authority worker. And they survived. There were other people that were pulled from the rubble, civilians that were pulled from. The other two that definitely they made the Hollywood movie about the World Trade Center was about Sergeant John McLaughlin and Officer William Jimeno of the Port Authority, New York, New Jersey Police Department. Now that story I find probably is the best one. The one definitely gives you hope. I mean, as Will Jimeno has always said, that the story just isn't about Will and John, as he always says. It's it's about the rescuers, their wives, everyone that was involved. I truly enjoy the story. I enjoy watching the movie. I enjoy reading about it. I feel that, so pretty much that, you hear about the people that were pulled from the rubble, but you don't really hear, about the other people. I mean, we know that members of Ladder 6 and the Port Authority were pulled from the rubble. I've seen video, I think, of a few civilians that were found in the rubble, or that were in the towers, or I don't know if these people were pulled from the rubble or what. But it's pretty interesting. I mean, you really don't hear much about that, about the Port Authority police officers. Most of the time, they talk about the loss of mass casualty, loss of the FDNY, the NYPD, the PAPDs, and other divisions such as EMS, ESU, the Emergency Services Unit. And, well, I'm just, even though, that these guys, when you sign on to be a cop, a firefighter, even a paramedic or an EMT, you're pretty much, you sign in and saying that, I know the risk, something could happen to me. And, 9/11, I think, proved to a point that definitely, I think, as I've talked to many firefighters, they say, 9/11, definitely brought about, a total new understanding about, the police, fire, and EMS personnel. Of course, everybody's, not really, probably still doesn't get very happy when the police pull you over. But these people I'd say that, people need to understand that, this is what these guys went through. Oh, and before I forget, there's one other thing I want to talk about. The one thing that I'm truly sick and tired of hearing about online is that, the U.S. government had something to do with 9/11, all this supposed, video of a missile being fired from a plane, from all the flights that flew into the World Trade Center. You need one that people don't take in of objects, unless somebody was actually right below as an exact video. And most of these videos you see are shaky. They're not, exactly standing still. They're, kind of moving around, or not really, like this kind of, it's like they're pretty much, they're moving around. They're, they're holding the camera like this, And you can't just hold your arm perfectly straight. It's going to be moving. There's going to be very slight movement that will interrupt your film. And I'll tell you, I mean, this is what makes me mad the most, is that, you know, people are saying, you know, that plane fired a missile from, you know, I mean, you got to take in that there was no clouds in the sky. You know, there was, I mean, that could have been, I mean, there was no clouds in the sky over New York City when that plane flew into the Trade Center. One thing you need to take in, though, is there was a lot of sun that day. It was a beautiful day. Like I said, there were no clouds in the sky. And, I mean, it most likely, you know, was either, you know, it was definitely, I'm saying, a reflection of the sun off the bottom of the plane. Those planes, you know, aren't dirty like your basic car you see on the freeway. These things are kept pretty clean. So, I mean, you have to take into account that there could have been that it could have been the paint reflecting light, because these are pretty, because most of the planes I've seen, you know, the paint is a nice glossy color. It's not a, you know, a flat, you know, color. It's always, you know, a nice shiny color. So you need to take into account that, you know, that the, you know, like I said, you know, that, you know, even at the Pentagon, you know, that, you know, 2 firefighters who were outside, that Pentagon has their own fire department apparently, or something along that line. And and they said, you know, they saw, you know, a plane fly into the side. You know, I mean, that, I feel, is a credible source right there. I mean, I'll believe 2 firefighters that were there. I mean, you know, people that came in after, they can say whatever they want, but, you know, there are people there that will say, I know what I saw. You know, I was there. You know, I mean, there's more stories. I mean, I might have to even do a part 3 of this. So once again, this is Nick saying thank you. God bless America. Thanks to all the NYPD, Port Authority police officers, and New York City firefighters and paramedics and EMTs, and to all those who fought, died, and lost their lot, who fought, died, and lost loved ones that day. Thank you. God bless.